Hey folks, my name's Chris Wessel. Today we're going to be tying a pattern created by Rob Solo called the Grizzly Wulff Divisible. Basically, this pattern is a mashup between the Grey Wolf and the Bivisible. So without further ado, let's get on into it. Today we're going to be using a number 8 partridge D4AF hook. Really like these little hooks, and we're going to be using a Textreme power thread. Stuff is really small and really strong. Really liking it a lot, really. And basically we're just laying down a base here now. Going to come back so far, then we're going to come up again, but we're going to leave some room in the front here. Where this is a wolf style fly, I think I'm going to choose to bury my front wings into the hackle a little bit, and we're just going with some calf tail here now. We're going to prep that for our front wing, and I'm just basically separating that out just so it stacks a little bit easier. Some really nice straight calf tail actually. It's going to have a little bit of a paintbrushy look coming out of the stacker like that, so all I'm just going to do is just roll it in my fingers, and it'll just make those tips just a tiny bit uneven, which may look a little bit better on this fly. So I'm going to do a little bit of an oversized wing maybe for this hook. Let's have, that's not terrible. Just because I want to have it poking up over my hackle. And we're just going to come to the back and prep to put our tail on this fly as well. So I don't have a lot of experience tying this fly, and I don't have a lot of experience fishing this fly, actually none. So I played around with how I wanted to tie this fly a little bit before starting this video, and I think I really like it when the thread comes back behind the hook point, which typically for me is not something I do with dry flies, but it seems to look nice with this one. So right now we're just prepping some gray fox, and all we're doing there is we're cutting off a piece. You'll notice that you got your guard hairs, which is what we're going to be using. We're going to just kind of pinch onto those, and you'll have all this underfur in the back. We're not going to be using that. So I have another little clump here. I'm just going to do that again. It comes out super easy, guys. I've never tried to do anything with that underfur. I'm sure you can make some sort of dubbing with it. And just a quick stack with that. Give it a quick roll. Pick out some of those strays. And we're just going to measure up to our front wing. You want it roughly around the same. And I want my hackle to come back right about there. Yeah, that'll be nice. And we're going to come back up towards the front. We could have did this at the time, but I usually choose to have this as my last step. I would have liked to have left a tiny bit more room up here too, but we got to post this front wing up, and basically as I've shown in other videos, I'm just doing a figure 8 motion between the wing and the shank, up over, back around the other way. Some junk on my thread, and that's just going to get your wing posted up without having to create too much of a dam in the front. And we're going to do a split. Basically you're just taking this, splitting it by eye where you think it's even on both sides. I think roughly is alright with that. You're not going to see a lot of that wing. If it's like really unproportional on both sides, you may see it, but that one looks pretty good, I think. So those have kind of gone towards the front again, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to come up again. I'm going to pull my wings up, and I'm going to do that same motion again to get those wings up. And we are going to create a tiny bit of a dam there, but nothing crazy. The hackle's also going to help hold this up if we kind of pile it around both sides of this. Today for hackle, we're using a Grizzly. You want to pick out something that's roughly going to come down and get to your hook point down here, or even just a pass is nice too. The difference with this dry fly compared to most that I tie is that there's no body underneath this hackle. This thing is like all hackle, and if you're worrying about using expensive hackle up, this is probably not the pattern for you, because you want to have a nice bushy fly with this because there's no floating body underneath this hackle. Alright, so we are going to start in front of that wing. And when I've hackled flies before like this, you've seen me strip one side of the hackle. I'm not going to do it in this case. Number one, this hackle that I chose seems to be standing really nice actually. It's a Metz hackle. Number two, we need all those fibers for this fly. If we strip off one side, you're really going to notice it in the body. You want a nice full body out of this. Such a cool looking fly. I'm actually looking forward to fishing this year for brook trout and salmon. Rob Solo is he's a Newfoundlander, and he's kind of the original guy that would be behind a camera tying flies and showing people back in, I believe it was the 80s and 90s. I could be mistaken on that. It was definitely long before YouTube. And I'm just coming back up through, and I'm making a little bit of sparser wraps, as you may notice. And that's because just my feather is not long enough to go through as dense as I did on the first pass. We got to get this back up to the eye of the hook before we run out of feather. And I just kind of want to put some wraps around that wing because I want to make sure that is standing where we want it. And like, I'm putting my fingers on this, guys, and it's got some sturdiness to it. You're not just pinching right through to the shank. It's kind of cool. All right, so I'm just going to pull these fibers back, and that's just to keep it out of the way of the head. And you're kind of getting into the territory of personal preference and how this is going to look to the tyer or the fisherman, not so much the fish, because really at the end of the day, it's my thoughts that if you can get feather fibers to come up and kind of cover that hook eye, that's one less thing the fish swimming underneath this fly is going to see. But we of course want to take a nice photo, right? And I'm just still kind of pulling some of these back. This thread is so small that you can really get away with a lot of wraps on this. You'll also notice that I did not wrap the thread down through the body. And I can pretty much guarantee you what you're thinking is, first time the fish grabs onto that fly, it's going to come apart. And if we left it like we are now, you wouldn't be wrong. But what we're doing is we're taking head cement with a needle nose applicator on it. By the way, all shore fishing head cement now comes with this needle nose applicator on it, which is pretty cool. It's a plastic bottle, which, I'm not sure if you can recycle it or not. And basically, I'm just going to come down. I'm going to turn this on its belly. And I'm just going to get that needle right down by the shank. And I'm not really pouring this out, guys. You can't see it. But I am putting enough on there that I want that to soak into the stem of that feather that's wrapped around the shank. And this is going to take place of our thread wraps. that we would typically do around a fly. The reason I'm not doing those thread wraps is because in the few that I tried before doing this video, it really kind of just ruined the look of my hackle. I didn't like it, and you know what? I know this thing's gonna float without it, with the head cement even. So that's it, guys. That's the Grizzly Wulff Divisible, created by Rob Solo of Newfoundland and Labrador. Super jacked to fish this fly this year. Thank you all for stopping by. If you haven't already subscribed to my channel, please feel free to do so. If you haven't, still cool. Just happy to have you along. And till next time, take care.